Hi, welcome back to my channel, and this is a sound off on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So pretty much the episode picks up where it left off last week, which is Teresa stormed out and Jennifer is trying to call her and see what happened because she doesn't know what's going on. And of course, Teresa's not answering her phone because she's pissed off and it's a whole situation. Meanwhile, the trio plus Tracy is heading over to Jennifer's house for this barbecue that Teresa's supposed to be hosting, but Teresa's not there. While they're in the car though, I found it real funny how Margaret was saying something like, if one huff and puffs, the rest of us huff and puff. And I guess it was cold language like, y'all have my back just in case some shit go down. She's so corny to me. So they get to Jen's house and Bill is walking towards the door. He sees everyone and he stops. And he's like, Jennifer, you might want to get the door. Because I guess he sees Trouty and he's not feeling her. And he's just like, ugh. So Jennifer goes to get the door. And Jennifer is really a gracious host because she don't like none of these bitches. And she's real sweet and she's real welcoming. And she's a team player. Because honestly, I would have let them stay outside. I don't like none of y'all. And Teresa, who was supposed to... Teresa, who left me holding the bag, she done left. I would have left them outside. I wouldn't have left them outside, but I would have wanted to. I would have wanted to leave them outside. But, anyways, she lets them in and she's showing them around. And she's real. She's just like, I don't know what happened with Teresa. She got mad. She left, whatever. And then, of course, they're like, it's because of Louis. It's because of this. It's because of that. Da, 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 da. They're all speculating. And it's just like... If y'all don't want Teresa on the show, why do y'all make the show all about Teresa? I just don't get it, but whatever. So after everyone gets their food and they make their way over to like the little sitting area that she has, I think, on her deck, Melissa wastes no time coming for Jennifer. And she's like saying, oh, Bill, you're real sweet and everything, but Jennifer's always coming for me, yada, yada, yada. And I just kind of felt like... It's already awkward enough that Teresa isn't there. I don't even think Dolores was there yet. She's pretty much alone. What are you coming for her for? You already know what you're going to get with Jennifer, but you keep coming at her. And I don't know if Melissa thought, this is a good time to get Jennifer because she's in a vulnerable state because of everything that's going on. That shit was a mistake. Now, y'all know I love my girl Jennifer, but Jennifer is not going to make a hypocrite out of me. My girl was backpedaling, as Melissa was trying to call her out. She was trying to make excuses, and it was like, girl, there's no reason to do that. Stand in your shit. You be talking shit. They be talking shit about you. You haven't done anything that they haven't done to you. So it's like, what's the... Girl, why? Don't backpedal. Stand in your shit. As they're talking, Dolores and Big Frank shows up. Then moments later, Teresa and Louis shows up. Now, So I've known from the beginning that I do not like this new girl, Tracy, and she has not changed my mind this episode. While Teresa and Louis are there and they're having little cute conversations and the guys are kind of jabbing him and ribbing him, talking about what did you do in high school and what was you doing this and what was you... Like they was doing a little, breaking balls, banter, whatever. And Tracy is over there talking to Melissa like, are we going to bring up the elephant in the room? We're going to talk about it? Like, we're not going to talk about what happened with Teresa? Like, how come she left in a hurry? Why was she mad earlier? Tracy, you weren't even there. This is not something that you witnessed. So why would you bring it up? You didn't witness this. You didn't see it. So what does it matter to you, you dumb bitch? Anyways, Melissa was like, well, that's what Jennifer said. Like, that's what Jennifer says, but it doesn't look like that's what really was going on. And then Margaret's like, what? What? Say it. Say it. And I was just like, y'all so fucking corny. Y'all are so corny. Y'all weren't even there. So what does it matter? Margaret decides to bite the bullet and she was like, Teresa, we heard you left in a huff and puff. Is huff and puff a thing or did Margaret try to coin a phrase? Like, what was that? I didn't get it. And I mean, I get it, but I didn't... Girl, bye. Anywho, Teresa's like, what? And Teresa lets them know. She's like, okay, look here. If you got something to say about me, say it to my face. Because if I find out later on y'all was talking noise about me, it's not going to be good. And I'm like, Teresa, girl, what you going to do? Teresa, stop it, Teresa. You're not going to do nothing to these girls. Teresa, girl, you know you're not going to do nothing. Stop it. Well, you might actually. Because I heard she was off probation. My girl might do some shit. Anywho, pretty much Louis decides he wants to address this video and Teresa doesn't want him to. She's like, look, I'm happy. He's an amazing guy. I've been with him a year. What does it matter? He don't owe y'all no explanation, which he doesn't. Margaret doesn't have a storyline this season. Neither does Melissa. So Louis gonna be their storyline. So Teresa and Louis end up having a little bit of a back and forth. And Louis like, look, if you don't be quiet, I'm going to leave. Like, let me speak for myself. Which I was a little frustrated too. Like, Teresa, he's a grown man. Let him talk for himself. The problem with Louis is Louis ain't ready for TV. Okay, he's not polished. He ain't trained. This is not his lane. You could tell he's been through a lot of intense therapy, which I can appreciate, right? But the way he speaks, everybody's not on that level. Not everyone understands that, especially this group of people. They're not going to get what you're trying to say. You are talking this enlightened language and they don't comprehend. So, and even if they did, they're going to make it their business to misunderstand you. And that is what Teresa is protecting you from. But see, men, y'all think y'all know more than everybody. And you fight Teresa, you argue with her, you made yourself look a little stupid talking to her crazy, just so you can make an ass out of yourself with your explanation. We were talking about it on Twitter, and honestly, one of my Twitter mutuals, DK, shout out to her, she was like, you know, this was personal, this was a private thing. No one was supposed to see this. And she's right. Like, how would anyone feel if your personal private therapy session was made public for the world to see and for them to scrutinize? Now everybody say you owe them an explanation of it. I don't owe you shit. Don't ask me nothing about it. And I never even thought of it like that, but now I can't unsee it that way. No one needed to question him about what was on that tape. It was pretty self-explanatory. The real questions that they should have asked was, what were you apologizing to her for? Are you abusive? Are you, physical, mentally abusive? Like, what is your deal? Like, is there something about you that should have us worried? Like, those were the line of questionings. The video being weird, it is what it is. All of you bitches are weird, especially Margaret. So, I mean, I guess this video thing is stupid to me because I feel like this video came out last year. They could have asked about it at the reunion. They chose not to. They made it a storyline because Margaret and Melissa have none. Really, that's all it is. So Joe asked Teresa, why are you so upset? What was the big deal? And Teresa was like, I don't want people gossiping about me behind my back. Now everybody was like, well, Teresa gossips. All these bitches gossip. Everybody gossips. And pretty much Joe Gorga is saying that everyone gossips. Your friend over here, Jennifer, she gossips about me all the time. And I felt like that was some bullshit. Everybody on the show gossips, especially the husbands. Y'all are the worst ones. You didn't need to call Jennifer out like that. She welcomed you guys in her home. She was gracious. She was a gracious host. Your wife came at her and now you're coming at her. It clearly feels as if this was a setup from day one. This was an ambush. Y'all went over there with the mindset of we coming for Jennifer. Y'all know she was crying and breaking down over at Dolores' house. Y'all know that she's affected by what she's going through. Y'all had a plan to take this girl out. And see, the thing about it is when you push someone in a corner, you get what you get. When you push someone in the corner and they bite your ass, it's your damn fault. And that's exactly what happened in this scene. So anyways, Joe is saying in his confessionals that Jennifer calling him a crook cost him a major deal. That's some bullshit. Joe Gorga, they've been talking about you scamming for a long time. They've been calling your ass on the carpet for a long time for scamming. I don't feel like Jennifer saying crooked family translates into Joe Gorga is a crook and we're not going to do business with Joe Gorga. Joe, you really want to tell us that someone you do business with or people that you do business with are vetting you through Jennifer's Instagram posts and reading her IG captions? That's how you're being vetted? That's why you're losing money because of what? Because Jennifer said crooked family? You mean to tell me it has nothing to do with the Home Depot rumors? It has nothing to do with you stealing people's work and you passing it off as your own? It has nothing to do with those things. It has nothing to do with the rumors that you don't pay your staff. It has nothing to do with that you owe money to people. That didn't cost you a big deal. Jennifer saying in an IG caption, you and your crooked family to Melissa cost you a deal. Move away from us with that, Apollo, because that's some BS and you know it. I'm just not with it. The Gorgas are really trying to blame Jennifer for their crooked reputation when the streets been talking about y'all. No, y'all need to stop. That's some bullshit and you know it. You know it. And everybody else there knows it. They've been talking about what y'all, well, not so much about Melissa, but they've been talking about Joe Gorga and his shady antics. Like, come on now. We're not about to blame Jennifer for that. Jennifer is not the cause of your reputation being smudged. So everyone is taking turns with Jen's head. You have Melissa coming at her, Joe Gorga coming at her, Margaret coming at her, and then they play the flashback or someone, I think Margaret mentions how Jennifer was digging up information on Evan's girlfriend from Frank. And they play the flashback from last season of Frank telling Trouty and Joe B about the girlfriend, about what Jennifer asked of him. And this whole time, I was thinking that this is something Jennifer did after the fact. I did not realize this is the same shit from last season. So again, Margaret has no fucking storyline, and that's why we're sitting through this nonsense. She asked that this is old news. This is not anything new. You guys already addressed all this BS at the reunion. Case done. Why are we still talking about this? But see, y'all think Jackie is so smart, but Jackie, you a dumb bitch too. Because you're letting Margaret do all of this around your situation that you didn't want to be out there. She's making this even bigger than what it ever needed to be. I really have the understanding that Jennifer did this after the fact, trying to come for you. Not knowing this is the same old stale tea from last season. A whole year later, you crazy. Like, seriously? Frank's sitting up there lying. Teresa is really trying to have Jennifer's back. Everybody is on her. And then Melissa's like, you ask for loyalty and you give loyalty. To me, that was coded language for Teresa, don't defend Jennifer. That's what that was to me. As all of this is going on, Tiki Barber walks in as if anybody cares. We don't care about you. Take your big teeth and go sit down over there because we got business to handle over here. We do not care nothing about you, sir. Anyhow, as this is going on, all hell breaks loose. Homegirl Jennifer, my baby girl, Jennifer jumps up and she was like, explaining herself, like, y'all not about to come for me. Like, it's like my sis woke up. Jennifer woke up and remembered who the fuck she was. She put that crying shit to the side. She put her hurt feelings to the side. She was like, y'all got me wrong. And she defended herself. And she said, look here, I don't know nothing about you, Joe Gorga. I don't even really care nothing about y'all. The fact of the matter is y'all come for me all the time and I retaliate and y'all don't like it. She said, you came for me unprovoked after the reunion tape with the IG post. So I retaliated. Before I could even read it, your husband chimes in. She said, no, she didn't say your husband. She says, little bitch girl, little bitch girl chimes in and makes a comment. What'd she say that for? Baby, all hell breaks loose. They start, Melissa, I need a moment. That's what her name should be. I need a moment. She jumps up and she charges at Jennifer. And Jennifer grabs her hand like this. They start tussling. And it's like, Jennifer just got that nose done. Jennifer is emotional. She is feeling iced out. She's feeling attacked in her home, her rented home. Y'all have her fucked up. So everybody is scrambling around to try to stop them from getting physical. Meanwhile, Nabil is on the sideline with his drink and he's grinning because I think he loved it. I think he loved every bit of it. He was very happy to see his wife go. Because I don't think he fucked with none of them. He thought he had a friend in them and he realized they really don't like you and they really don't like your wife and nothing is going to change it. He was happy to see her handle all of them. She was lassoing every single last one of them who opened their mouth. Security breaks it up. Teresa tries to break it up. Joe Gorga's jumping in. Nabil does nothing. Everybody's like, okay, you know what? Let's just go. Let's just go. Meanwhile, Jennifer is still going back and forth with Melissa. Melissa's telling her to shut up. It's a mess. In what planet can you run up and charge someone and they just stand there and let you do that to them? The way the girls like to tussle, the way the girls like to drag people, the way the girls like to yank ponytails. You ran up on a girl who just had surgery done to her face. I feel like they were hoping that she would take a swing, or you thought that you could keep picking on her because she was vulnerable. Well, you thought wrong. Because Melissa, she grabbed Melissa's arm and I was proud of my girl. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Jen does some goofy stuff that I cannot always abide, but I was proud of her when she grabbed that girl's wrist like, girl, you ain't gonna put your hands on me. You don't charge me. And it was like, oh, I was trying to leave. How the hell could you cut through her to leave? All the chairs were side by side. If you were trying to leave, you would have gone behind your chair, walked around, and you would have left. You did not need to go directly towards Jennifer if you wanted to leave. You did that on purpose, and it left upon you. As they're leaving, Jackie says, I'm done with her. That was so disgusting, and that was this, and that was that. And I was like, this is the shit that I don't like. Y'all saw y'all friend run up on this woman who's just had surgery to her face in her rental home, and she's the bad guy because she grabbed her wrist to prevent her from possibly hitting her. How is she wrong for that? She's supposed to just sit there and take whatever kind of treatment y'all want to give to her. Jennifer's like, oh, you done with me? Okay, girl, you done with me, whatever. And she was like, yeah, you tried to break up my friendship with Dolores. And Dolores is my real friend because she told me what you said about my husband stuck his thing somewhere else. And she's like, and he did. And Dolores is like, yes, I am. And I'm standing right here. And I know y'all was mad at Dolores, but I didn't care that Dolores did that. I didn't care that Dolores did that. I was actually kind of happy that she said that. Yeah, I am her friend. And what? I'd rather have Teresa Dolores on my side any day over Jackie, Trouty, and Melissa. Hell no. I'm rolling with the Patterson girls, okay? That's who I'm rolling with. But anyways, like I told y'all before, Jackie was never really Jennifer's friend. It could have been a cute little duo, but it was never going to really happen. I was starting to like her, but after this episode, I'm good on her too. I don't feel like Jackie was ever really trying to have a real friendship with Jennifer. I just don't believe it. They had a plan to divide and conquer, and it is what it is. Jackie knew that she could not make it seem like her and Margaret were working together to expose Bill's cheating. It was going to look terrible for Jackie. So Jackie knew she couldn't be a part of it. So her pretending to have sympathy for Jennifer, to me, it was bullshit. She just didn't want to look like the bad guy. She did not, after everything that happened last season, she could not take the public scrutiny. If she had done that, she knows that fan base was going to get Tara into her behind. So she knew she couldn't do that. So she's smart enough to know, like, yeah, Margaret, I'm glad you're doing it, but I'm not going to act like I'm with it. I'm going to show sympathy towards Jennifer because I know how it feels. It was all a scheme that Todd set up. She was never trying to be Jennifer's friend. They do not like Jennifer. They never have. They never will like Jennifer. It is what it is. It was never going to work. It was never real. And the moment that Jackie saw her exit to dump Jennifer, she took it. Because she never meant to be her friend to begin with. And y'all can't convince me otherwise. No one can convince me otherwise. So the trio, they're on the bus and they're talking a lot of shit. And I just have a feeling that some of the stuff that they say is going to come back and bite them in their behinds. But mark my words. But they're on the bus talking a lot of noise. Melissa is like, yeah, Bill looks like he's over her. He's checked out of the marriage. Okay, Melissa, be careful. Jackie and Margaret are agreeing and they're like, yeah, and she's just crazy and I can't believe she would put her hands on you and no one puts their hands on people. That's unacceptable and all this other bullshit. And Melissa is mad. Why did Teresa stay? And why didn't Teresa defend you, Joe? And if it was my sister, she would have defended all that nonsense that, you know, Melissa, she good for that shit. Whatever, back at Jennifer's house, Teresa and Dolores are trying to calm her down. And Jennifer's annoyed. Jennifer's pissed off and she's just like, why is your brother getting into women's business? Why is he getting into women's business? He been getting into women's business. Because quiet as it's kept, Joe Gorga has been making little jabs at Jennifer. All last season, Jennifer was on her best behavior. She really didn't get into it with Melissa. She didn't really do too much last season. Her and Margaret kept going back and forth, but Melissa and Jennifer were good. Like, there was not much of an exchange, but Joe Gorga was still talking shit about Jennifer. So with that being said, yeah, they stay in women's business. But Jennifer calling him a little bitch boy, a little bitch girl, it was well-deserved. You stay up in women's business. And so guess what? Women, we call people bitches sometimes. So you should have stayed out of it. If you didn't want none, you should have left them people alone. You should have left that girl alone. So anyways, the next day, everybody is talking about how Bill has checked out of the marriage, how he doesn't even seem like he likes Jennifer. So Jen is gathering Bill, as she should, for not sticking beside her while everything was happening. And he's trying to be like, well, you know, what was I supposed to do? You know, you want me to get involved in something that might get physical? And I was like, I was pissed off. Bill, this is all your fault in the first place because you carried this bone back to your wife who you know is nosy as fuck. And you know she has a big mouth. And you know these girls come for her. You went and told her this shit. And then you have the nerve to not have her back. You have the nerve to not back her up when Frank is lying and saying he never said none of that shit. You corny as hell for that shit. You really are. They was about to put hands on this girl. And you stood right back. That was whack as hell to me. I think that was really whack. And I'm glad that she ripped into your ass because that's what you deserve. You corny as hell. And at the end of the day, you started all of this shit, not only by carrying the bone, but by being the cheater in the first place. Why is she getting the walk of shame for your dirty dealings? Yeah, I wasn't feeling Bill this episode. I really wasn't feeling Bill. I didn't like it. I know that, you know, the guys bond with each other and they like each other and all of that other stuff. But they stick by their women. You don't stick by yours. What's that about? That was real whack. One thing I will say about Louis, he seems to be one of the husbands that doesn't get into the gossip. He's not here for all the drama. And I like that. Like, he was like, okay, can we stop talking about that and make out? And I was like, yes, Louis. He don't got time to be all up in the mix. I like that about Louis, okay? Everyone's getting ready for Melissa's pink party. And she's so pleased with herself to say that Jennifer is not invited. Jennifer can't come. Yeah, I don't think Jennifer wanted to come no way, but you know. Frank and Dolores is getting married. Frank and Dolores is getting married. Frank and Dolores is getting ready. And it's like literally Frank got it made. Frank really got it made. He has his wife and Dolores, but he's allowed to go and have sex with whomever he wants to. Because he gets all the wife privileges from Dolores. But he gets to be single. And she still takes care of him. Because we know he don't got no coin. Like, what the hell? I will never understand Frank and Dolores' dynamic. I ain't even gonna hurt my head to try to understand it. Because it's just nothing. There ain't no sense to be made of it. So anyways, everyone's at the pink party. They get Dolores by herself, and the ladies want to know what Jen was saying about them after they left. I don't really understand why they want to talk about Jennifer. You didn't want her at the party. Why are we talking about Jennifer? Like, whatever. But Dolores lets them know, like, I didn't like that you ran up on her. You know, if you would have done that to me, I would have hit you for sure. So, you know, of course, the gallery is like No, she shouldn't have put her hands on her. Whatever. Melissa starts backpedaling, talking about, when I want to make my point, when I want to get my point across and I don't feel like I'm being heard, I stand up to make my point. You stood up over here. Jennifer was over here. You stood up. You charged at Jennifer. And that's not standing up. You ran in that girl's face. She had every right to backhand the fuck out of you. So I'm going to need these arguments to start making some sense, okay? Jackie gets upset and she lets Dolores know she didn't appreciate how Dolores told Jennifer that she made the comment about Bill sticking his thing somewhere. And the thing about that is like, you said it, and she told her you said it. Just like you went and told Jennifer that Dolores wasn't being a good friend to her. You do me, I do you. What don't you understand? You tried Dolores first and she returned serve. What's the problem? What is the problem? Jackie had already said that she was done with Jennifer anyway. So what does it even matter? You said you didn't like her no more. You was done with her and you had a problem with her grabbing your good friend, Melissa. So what did it even matter if Dolores told her? What did it matter? So anyways, Joe wants Teresa to get rid of Jen. They're trying to ice her out. Like I told you, this is her. They're trying to recreate what they did with Danielle. And I don't think it's going to work. I don't think Teresa's going to let it happen. But they're trying to guilt trip and bombard Teresa. That Tracy bitch, it seems like her sole purpose of coming on this show was to come for Teresa and to talk about Teresa. Because, bitch, we don't know shit about you. But all you keep doing is talking about Teresa. They charge Teresa up. She starts talking about how Teresa's supposed to have their backs and to have Joe and Melissa's back. Why is she even spending the night over at Jennifer's house? Why is she this? Why is she that? Why did she? Girl, you just got here. Who told you that you get a vote in this matter? Who told you that? Because you get nothing. I really wish season 2 Teresa would come out. I really wish the Teresa that flips the table would have flipped the table on Tracy and told that heifer, when I want tips on how to steal a pregnant woman's husband, I will ask you for those tips. Until then, you keep it mute because then nobody asks you nothing. I don't like her. It's like she don't belong on this show. She really don't belong on the show, and I'm never going to like her, so it doesn't even matter. But it's just like, she just comes out, it's like she studies. She goes up in her room, and she's like, okay, this is what I'm going to say. These are going to be my talking points. But it's always about Teresa. You don't even, like, that conversation don't even concern you. Anyways, it leaves on a cliffhanger. Teresa's crying. Teresa's walking away. And I'm just over it. I'm over it. No, actually, Teresa makes a comment to Joe. If you want me to get rid of Jennifer, you want me to stop talking to her, I will. I'm tired of them doing that. And I know Teresa is no saint, but I'm tired of them always making Teresa get rid of people that's for her. You want her to stop being cool with Jennifer. Why? The end game is to get you, Teresa, off the show. So they don't want you to have no allies. And Jennifer is a strong ally. Last year, you told the realtor if she don't do right by your brother, she can't sell your house. But they sat up there and they were pushing Teresa to bow down to Jackie after Jackie made the Coke analogy. Nobody on this show is innocent. But the trio, they're always right. They are, everything that they do, they can justify it with some bullshit excuses. And everyone is like, yes. But Teresa and Jennifer is just supposed to accept whatever treatment people want to dish to them. And they're not supposed to say nothing about it. Yeah, I'm over it. I'm so glad that Jennifer woke up this episode and showed those bitches and remember who the fuck she was. Because these girls got y'all messed up. And I'm glad that I know Teresa is coming with some heat later on in the season. Because this is getting on my nerves. Yeah, I'm over this. Jennifer, I need you to call up Danielle. I need you to bring Danielle on as your friend next season because these girls got you wrong. Like, I'm so tired of them trying to make people bow down to their goofy, corny asses. I'm tired of the horny husbands. I'm over all of it. Like, this is not giving what they said it was supposed to give. Anyways, that is my sound off of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.